What's wrong with the business when you're not sure why it is not succeeding? That is one of the most difficult things
That's a good angle.
to answer. So it's really important that you don't freak out. Businesses have their ups and downs all the time. But what you have to do is ask yourself why it's a business not doing as well as you're wanting it to.
So that's a good angle. Okay. Good morning, Emma.
Hello.
Good morning, Rupert.
So, cafe today, it seemed quite quiet for a change.
Well, this time of the year normally is quiet. It's the end of winter, lot activity, many events all around Australia, especially sport events. So people tend to disappear.
So you get a pretty low customer flow?
No, my market is mainly students from the University of Melbourne, but also.
Today we're discussing the new policies and procedures. We've been implementing new policies because the business has been failing since we last decided on new policies and procedures, so we're updating them. Obviously, the business isn't functioning as smoothly as we thought it would, and we need to recruit new staff. So we've been developing new policies and procedures to support induction and training of new staff.
Yeah, I think that I would ask right there that have the right staff to any business is the only key for success. If you don't have the right staff, you're in trouble.
That's true. In implementing the new policies and any issues that might come up when trying to see any applications.
I think with the new staff, I don't think there'll be too many problems because the new staff are learning policies and procedures anyway.
Yeah.
I think it will more be with the existing staff being consistent in staying with the new policies and procedures and potentially confusing the new staff by doing things the wrong way.
Okay.
That's the only thing I can really think of. But the new staff will be trained in the new policies and procedures from the get-go, so they should be fine. But the old staff, with some things,
So do you think they need updated training?
I think if we train, if we are able to, if we can train all the staff together, so new staff and old staff, then everyone's got the same training, so everyone knows where they stand, like where we stand on policies and procedures for different.
So places like the casino would be your competitors?
They are the competitor for everybody.
Yeah. So, what do you think they'll do to attract customers when the weather gets warmer and perhaps more people are out and about?
Yeah, normally we rely on, we have certain people, the students we have to go for buying the meals, and for the tourists we have to go with the tourist bureau, and with the normally the restaurants for large number of people with meals if you provide it. Surviving.
The business and how it's been running, if it's been running at a profit.
So is there any other way which you might think, which you might consider in the future to change to make more customers more attracted to your store, like visuals, or go into the city and or marketplaces and conduct demonstrations on your foods, or have stalls, or anything else that extends beyond the business itself?
Well, I am considering develop the restaurant into a school of cookery, in which I have students, pay student, which is for which the government pays a certain amount, so that we help to pay the regular fees of the school.
Okay, so you would staff a lecturer or a teacher to teach people who want to learn about cooking.
Yeah, being a teacher.
Years ago, when I first started working, I got trained on the job, I got on the job training, and I had someone supervise me while I worked, and by doing that, I got to learn the duties and the requirements of what you need when you work in a cafe, like the hygiene. And I thought that was good, but I think it's not as thorough as actually learning with an educational institute where they give you a book to read and more knowledge to be able to do the job right.
Veterans work required the person not only have the theoretical knowledge of what to do and how to do things, but also the practical side. I always have this motto: if you don't do it, you don't learn. And that's the case in the restaurant. You don't do things, you don't learn. You don't
That
learn.
external training, or the possibility of it, have you talked to any other companies about the possibility of them training their staff?
Not yet. With the change in policies and procedures, that should be more internal. If there's any external training that in the training of the internal side of things, if there's any gaps in training that's found during that internal training, I think we should then approach the right sort of external group to have some external training done, or have a trainer come in ideally, so it's less disruptive and expect a different outcome. So we need to change those strategies and get a hopefully better outcome.
Yeah, definitely. We're trying to.
But keep a bit fluid, so if any of the new things make the old things worse, then we can just take a step back to the old way that's less worse.
There is two main elements which can create difficulty. One is the cost and the time. And both you have to take in consideration before you take that kind of policy.
I noticed that in the beginning, quite a few months ago, there was a rush of people and you felt that you were even understaffed. And obviously, since that time, the customers haven't come in as often, and so I'm guessing that you don't have as many staff on hand at the moment.
Basically, the country like Australia, in which the labor is not available when you want it. But
What time frames do you envision for implementation and training? Would you say 2 to 4 weeks or 4 to 6 weeks?
I would probably say more the 2-week time frame. So a week of probably a week of training in the new policies and procedures, not necessarily constant training, but just have a training session maybe each morning, just to reinforce new policies and procedures, just keep track of anything that's not working during that week, and then in the second week just reinforce those new policies and procedures and make sure that there aren't any training gaps.
What sort of cost do you think would be expected? $10,000 or $5,000 budget for training?
I would honestly expect probably no more than over a 2-week period, ideally no more than $5,000. But again, it does depend on where those gaps in training are. If we need to pay for barista courses or something like that, that will add up quite quickly. If we're able to get away with in-house training, then it'll just be paying the staff the overtime or the additional hours. So that should be able to be kept to a minimal, hopefully. Not chew into the profits even more.
That's good. The minimum is good.
Minimum is good.
It's what everyone wants. Great. It looks like we've updated the policies and procedure with some success, and definitely the new strategy over the training programs is definitely going to be a big improvement to help the business run once it's been implemented. So it's good. Okay, that's all for today. Any further questions?
No.
Then I'll call you again in a couple of weeks to see the outcomes of the next stage of developments.
It will be my pleasure, darling. It will be my pleasure.
Great. Thank you very much, Emma.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rufus.